Hello, welcome to Anyland. I'm Jinx. This video I'm showing off my avatar because I've done a few things with it. So it's not just a few circles like your default naked body that's not a body at all, just a bunch of circles. And I want to just show off that you can script parts of your body, your avatar, and your head and all the good stuff and put some fun things into it. So you don't have to be just a floating head if that's, if you don't want to be just a floating head. And, get creative with it, get personal with it, make it look interesting. So my first video, I had a kind of hoodie that you see here, and then I've since added a trench coat looking jobby here. Just kind of tacking on stuff, and I'm like, oh, this looks good, alright, cool. So just for starters, you can see every 10 seconds my eyes blink and they kind of go bloop with that. Next thing I want to do is add some glow to the eyes when I talk, so that they kind of go to a lighter color, so it looks like they're pulsing. And you can see when I talk that my mouth will open, and that's just a very simple script. And then a quick change of state of a couple parts here, which is nice, kind of gives the illusion of an actual character, that I'm an actual person and not just a floating static head zipping by. So a couple things. First, to start off, is body features. So first, my goggles. If I push a button here, they come down, and then they light up, which kind of simulates that my eyes are glowing, and then glowing through the goggles. And that's kind of fun. I love goggles. So you have a game like Psychonauts, and the main character, Raz, has goggles, and he puts them on before he goes into anyone's brain consciousness. And it's like, yes, I like that. Also, very big fan of mad scientist stuff, so goggles always. And then I have the hood you can see on the back here. I can actually flip up. And it's neat because from my point of view I can see the edges if I turn my head really fast. So it actually feels like I'm in a hood on that. And then you can see in the back, if I drop it down, it actually comes back down in position like it should. The floating ball next to me here, it's very simple. You can see it's two parts. It's the sphere, and then it's the slice, the circular slice in the middle that's glowing blue. And in state 1 it's up here, and in state 2 it's down, and then it just over 4 or 5 seconds transition between the states, so it just slowly bobs with me. And that's the kind of thing I've been working on, making these kind of techie looking orbs to fit my semi-cyberpunk glowy style. And I wanted kind of a pet that would follow me, and I've been experimenting with some of the scripting on that, but the simplest solution is just attach it to my avatar, so it's always with me, like that. Before I made the trench coat, I had one that was circling around my body, orbiting basically, in a kind of hacked way. It had 8 steps going around, it kind of zip, 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 zip. But I made the trench coat, and since the trench coat is wider than what the simple shape of what was a hoodie on my body was, it was clipping through, and I didn't feel like moving it around. It was kind of like, well, a little too much going on here. Try to keep it simple, Alright, we got the goggles, we got the hoodie. One of my favorite new additions that makes a lot of people go, whoa, is the wings. They're kind of fun. I love wings on characters. I think it's always super neat. You get angels, you get gargoyles, all sorts of cool stuff. So why not have wings? And then keeping with this kind of semi-tron, semi-cyberpunk glowy style, they're not meant to look super realistic or functional. They're not filled out. They're just kind of skeletal and all that good stuff. Now, I also have weapons, which are kind of fun because I have these kind of blades. Let's see, from both hands. And they are actually set so that turn one off here so I can point. This part, the kind of translucent part, is set as liquid in the scripting as one of the attributes. So if somebody is shooting things around, missiles, shots, floating things, spamming things, I can and then I can actually chop them out and destroy them, which is pretty handy cleanup mechanism. It also feels kind of cool. And if somebody is shooting things in my direction, I can always activate my shield. The shield is not set with liquid, so it doesn't destroy, it deflects, which I think is kind of fun because a lot of projectiles have gravity or bounce effects, so it's, somebody's shooting at me, deflect, 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 deflect. Always fun. And something we call the EMP, which you won't be able to see except for a blip, that creates, it's a hidden, basically sphere inside my arm, just a tiny, tiny part. And when I hit it and it triggers, it goes into a huge sphere, and it does it instantly in 0.1 seconds, and then in 0.1 seconds comes right back. And that is set to liquid, so that clears any spam or any emitted things that are just lagging us out because somebody is going crazy with it. It's kind of a cleanup mechanism too. If you're building and you're testing and you're throwing out a bunch of stuff and you're like, oh, okay, I don't want to wait for the 30-second despawn rate. Pop! Gone. On my arm, I created a laser blaster because, sure, you can make a gun. Everyone's made guns. I've made plenty of guns. It's so much fun in this game. It's like a neat little personal hobby. But you have to pull it out of your inventory. You have to hold it. Putting it on my arm is just so much easier to get to fire. Every once in a while, you just need to shoot something and make it go flying away, or trigger something from a distance and don't want to have to pull out a gun. So, hey, why not? It fits this kind of high-tech look that I might have a laser blaster strapped to my arm, or maybe built into it. In the future, I want to make my hands look like chrome robotic stuff, and my first video kind of showed a prototype, and I've since had a ton of ideas for that, so that's kind of the next step for the avatar. Also, I have a straight laser, as you can see, kind of shoot towards the camera. That doesn't actually affect anything. That's a tiny part that stretches out real fast and then comes back as fast as hidden as it can be. The other kind of parts of my avatar I'd like to show off, I'm going to go in first person mode so that you can see my point of view, obviously. So here we are. I'll just bounce back real quick. On my arm here I have a little counter. It says number 1. This shows me how many players are in the current area. Well, I'm in my private, home base world, so obviously I'm the only one. It's kind of nice when you're hanging out with people and then you might be well inside a house or well inside an area in a forest kind of thing, and then you're hanging out with 2 or 3 people and it says, 2 or 3, whatever. And then all of a sudden it jumps to 5, 6, 7, and you're like, hey, a bunch of people just joined. Let's go find them. Let's go say hi. Let's see what's up. So that's always good. You see here, this is the button for the goggles, the hood, kind of a hood on top shape, the wings, kind of wing shape. This is my pop-out holographic teleport menu. It might not show up too well right here just because of the color, but I can see it very clearly. I just made text spots, and they're hot spots, so I touch one, I teleport to that area. In Jinx Mansion, which is my mansion that I've been building, I have 2 other hot spots, my lab and a straight teleport to the foyer, so I don't have to go straight into the start point, which is kind of nice because sometimes I see somebody's in there and I jump to the foyer and they're wandering around. They don't see me hidden. These are for the blades. That. I'm going to turn them both, close them down. Let's see, from my point of view, the shield has some pretty good coverage. I mean, top of my head, almost to my real feet, but my avatar is floaty, so it doesn't matter. And that's the EMP. Pow. The gun, from my point of view, all I have to do is close my left eye, looking through my right, and I can get a perfect shot straight on. And then the laser. And this dot right here is my emergency teleport. All I have to do is hit it, and it immediately takes me back to my home base here. Which, I could always just open up, hit that button. I could open up and hit that button, but sometimes just boop. And that's pretty simple. So with that, I'm going to take off here, quite literally, and I will see you in the next video, maybe.